Today's Editor's Note podcast is brought to you by Scrooge McDuck Custom Vaults. Don't trust those thieving banks. Keep your money safe in your very own vault. And get this, it doubles as a swimming pool. Warning, money in reality is disgusting. Swimming in dirty money may cause side effects. Duckburg General Hospital recommends cleaning your money before diving in.
Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast, the only podcast coming from Central Maine's best comic book store by default. Welcome back. We took a quick hiatus. You might have noted a delay in schedule, but we are here. We are back. It has been 2 weeks. My name is Zach. With me is my co-host, Jared.
Yes, local internet celebrity, rested, ready to go. It's been, 2 weeks?
I know, it
since
feels
we
weird.
actually recorded one of these shows in 4 days since one came out, but...
I was busy.
You may have had a thing or two going on.
Did my best.
How was your vacation?
I failed. That was my triumphant return to Mercer County, the tri-state area.
Did you go to the Quick Stop?
No.
Oh.
I did end up going, I had to pick up a couple of things, which is weird for me, but I had to swing through a shop. I'm like, I'll go swing through the secret stash in Red Bank. And I go through, and they're in the middle of filming for the reality show. It was really awkward.
Do you think you're going to be in the reality show?
No, I went in when they were on a break. They did have me sign a release and all that, but I'm definitely not in it.
Did you see anybody famous?
No.
You didn't see Kevin Smith or anything like that?
No, and I mean, there's really nothing to spoil. It was the people who are on the show taking a break. I have nothing to spoil, and I'm also not sure I legally could. I signed a lot of paperwork.
Ah. Yes, which explains your tweet about signing a lot of paperwork, which you had no idea what it meant.
It was really awkward timing. We don't think cameras were rolling, but just in case we're going to take your photo and you're going to sign a release. And no, but it was good. I got back to Jersey.
You
got back home.
You cultured yourself with a Broadway show.
I did, yeah. What did I see? I saw Wicked.
You saw Wicked. Had you seen Wicked before?
Nah.
What did you think? I mean, there's no Idina Menzel or Kristen Chenoweth now, but still.
Look, I thought it was a little weird that the witch was supposedly in love with the scarecrow, that she set him on fire and had his guts ripped out. I'm like, easy does it. Maybe
Listen,
stop
man,
that.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I've had some ex-girlfriends in my time that I'm sure would love to set me on fire and have my guts ripped out.
The Tin Man was weirdly bloodthirsty. It's a killer!
Well, he has an axe. I mean, just saying.
No, I just ended up listening because I couldn't get into Hamilton because that's $1,000 a ticket. So I just listened to Hamilton on repeat, which I'm probably going to break out into song a few times.
If you break out into song and you start singing Hamilton during this show, I don't know what I'm going to do.
How often do I do that in real life? Because when I cut the show, I do it a lot. I break out into song at least 4 times an episode.
I can't think of you breaking out into song recently.
I'm here to sing.
No, you're not. You're here to sell comics and talk about comics.
I'm here to talk about Hamilton.
Okay, this is a Hamilton-based show?
This is now the Hamilton podcast. Our show is canceled. We're going to analyze 2 songs per show. It'll be a finite number of episodes. Let's go.
So are you telling me that you're going to shut down the Editor's Note Comics and start a small musical repository in Hollowell?
Just for Hamilton.
Just a Hamilton shop. Hamilton's Note.
Gotta go out of business so fast.
Yes, you would. But you're back, and we have a ton to talk about because when you were gone, Comic-Con.
I know. There was this huge convention over the weekend where a ton of people wooed over absolutely anything.
I wooed
the
over...
Republican National Convention.
Oh, no.
You heard it here.
They booed, and that was during the week. It wasn't the weekend.
I know, there was more woos at Comic-Con, I think.
More woos than a Ric Flair wrestling match.
But as we do each and every week, let's get into the news.
Oh, thanks for asking me about my life while you were gone on your vacation.
How are you?
Nothing exciting happened.
I figured.
Now we can go to the news.
There's a new picture of you on our fridge.
Oh, yeah, I did see that, which I don't recall you photobombing that picture.
I do, because you were like, get out. I was like, no, never.
I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of that hour segment of that festivity that I don't recall clearly.
You were like, get out of the picture. Like, I will do no such thing. This is now my picture.
I'm not going to mince words here. I was bombed at that point.
And the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
As we mentioned over the weekend,
being bombed isn't really news. That's just fact of life, I guess.
That's a Tuesday.
That's it. Hey, that's the night we record the show.
Happy Tuesday.
Coincidence? I think not. But as we had mentioned, it was kind of slow news over the last couple of episodes because it was all building up to San Diego.
I know, and now I had to cut out a ton of news because this would be a 4-hour show otherwise. We're just doing the broad strokes. Now, there's a problem this episode.
I almost broke into the Different Strokes theme song.
You could have. I got an issue this episode.
Don't you have an issue every episode?
Well, that's the problem.
Okay.
This is going to be the most positive episode we've ever done. I have so little negative to say. What compelling listening. I really liked that. It was good.
People are going to be, they're going to be surprised by you liking things.
You like that? I like that.
They're going to listen to find out what you like, because I recall the last show, you hated everything. You hated cats, you hated Les Mis, you hated life.
No, so I think I'm going to start off with a little negativity. It won't come back for a while, and then you'll accuse me of nitpicking, which I'm definitely not. It's a legitimate complaint.
You nitpick.
Oh, I gotta... No. You're going to call me on it, and you're wrong. You're so wrong.
All right.
But let's get into it. I'm going to start off with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, see, that doesn't count, because
Oh,
you're already on record as your how you feel about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And
this is not news.
No, this is
like a continuation of an ongoing saga of you in a love-hate relationship with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now you're in the hate cycle.
No, they brought me up. They built me up. They're like, we're going to have Ghost Rider this year. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get Ghost Rider. We're getting a major Marvel character. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get Johnny Blaze in there.
No?
They got me excited about something, and they gave me the worst version of it. We are going to get a Ghost Rider. We are going to get Robbie Reyes. He was introduced in 2014. I don't know a lot about him because the series kind of sucked, and I stopped reading it.
Are you saying Ghost Rider, like the PBS TV show? Oh, Ghost Rider, like Nick Cage.
Yeah, like that one.
Oh, okay.
We're getting
the undead, turns into fire, rides a motorcycle.
Well, that's the thing. This one drives a car and just puts on a flaming helmet.
That sucks.
You built me up and you tore me down yet again, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why did I give you the benefit of the doubt for 5 seconds? God, you picked the worst. You didn't even give me like the weird extreme 90s
driving like a
Ghost
Chevy
Rider.
Cordova? Is he at least driving a cool car?
It's at least a cool car, but it's not a...
Is it better than a Ford Fiesta?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no Spanish party, but...
Speaking of Spanish party, I had dinner at Margarita's tonight.
It's not that Spanish.
Well, it's Mexican, but still,
not
I mean, they
that
speak
Mexican.
Spanish.
Do they?
Well, they have the mariachi band playing in the background. I was waiting for my party to arrive. I watched a video on how they make tequila.
Oh, there you go. Did you get a fun hat?
No, because it wasn't my birthday.
You could have lied.
I could have. I don't really have need for a sombrero.
They don't check for ID, I don't think.
No, I did not get ID'd tonight.
Well, no, for your birthday hat.
Oh, yes, for your sombrero. Well, somebody has to pay. You don't get it for free. Somebody pays for it.
I thought they were free.
Oh, no. Well,
that has changed in the
maybe
last
they're free. I don't know.
I went there.
It's been a while since I've been part of a sombreroing. Anyway, back to the news. Although sombrero talk, much more fun than being disappointed yet again by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my God, it's a merry-go-round of disappointment. I think it's going to get better.
I feel like it's an oxymoron. Merry-go-round to me exhibits excitement.
Does it?
Yesterday, by the way, Monday of this week was merry-go-round day. Did you know that Charles Lindbergh, before his transatlantic flight, would go to the merry-go-round on Coney Island to decompress and relax before he flew across the ocean?
What a weird thing to do.
It was like whenever Lindbergh flew across the ocean back in the 40s? I don't know. I can't remember.
More news out of San Diego. So there was a lot of rumor for a while about a new Hulk solo movie, but the reality is that isn't happening because Universal holds the rights to a Hulk solo movie, and they're probably not going to play nice with Marvel, but Marvel can use him as a supporting character.
Hulk Solo, little-known cousin of Han Solo.
And Han Solo's going to get more than one movie, but, I wasn't going to talk about that today.
Oh. See, I'm
trying
to give you, a little something to get negative about, because you're going to be so positive for the next hour that I'm trying to, I'm trying to keep you grounded before you have, before you just make a mess in your pants over there. Like you did the other night when we went to the movies, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
I giggle heartily.
Don't worry, because I did too.
But we're going to be getting the Gladiator Hulk from Planet Hulk. This came out in 2006, 2007. It's generally considered to be the best Hulk story. Hulk goes to another planet. He gets kidnapped, becomes a gladiator, overthrows the ruler. It's basically Russell Crowe Gladiator, except his wife blows up at the end, and he's called the World Breaker because he stomps on it and he splits the world in half. We're getting Planet Hulk and Thor.
Ragnarok.
I'm excited. It's one of the, if not the best Hulk story of all time.
Where Hulk just goes to a different planet and kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, has Hulk lost a fight, aside from when Hawkeye killed him recently?
That's a pretty big loss, yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty big, if you're like 90 and 1 and the 1 is your death, that's a pretty bad loss to take. Like Apollo Creed. He was whatever. And
he lost more than once. We saw him lose more than once.
Well, he lost to Rocky and then he, died.
Yeah. Those were both pretty.
So he's like whatever in 2.
See, I went to the Rocky statue.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went there before.
It's not at the top of the stairs anymore, is it?
No, it's down to the side. And I went there like a decade ago when I was living in Jersey. But they didn't have any real system of you take a photo, you take a photo. It was just a mob, so I got annoyed and didn't do it. Now they have a line.
Was it a long line? Is it still quite a long line of people wanting to get there?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Did Mr. T come up to you and say, like, challenge you to a fight like he did?
No, but this one guy offered to take photos, and we're like, oh, he must work from the museum.
Nope. Just a random dude?
No, it was a hobo looking for cash.
Oh, so you...
And he's like, hey, you got a couple bucks? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then my smallest bill was a 10. He's like, it's okay, I'll take that. Nice pictures, though. Good photographer.
I bet he's had some practice.
Star-Lord's father was revealed. We knew it was going to be played by Kurt Russell, but we didn't know who Kurt Russell was going to be playing.
Who's Kurt Russell playing?
Ego, the living planet.
What?
He's a planet with a face.
Well, when you're living... Aren't all planets... Like, Earth is a living planet.
He talks.
Oh. Like the Wizard of Oz's head?
He jibber-jabbers.
He jibber-jabbers.
A little bit of yak in there.
He jibber-jabber. I know that jibber-jabber, fool. It's going to be like a Mr. T episode. It's got fun ways to lace Mr. T into this.
Mothers. Be good to your mothers. Look it up. It's
I pity the fool.
Terrible music video. Did you know Mr. T had a rap career? I did not until recently.
Yes, I did.
Oh, my God.
We discussed this on a recent episode, I believe.
I think we just discussed it in our personal lives.
Oh. Yeah, well.
Not everything we talk about is on the show.
It feels that way sometimes when we discuss. I can't remember what we've talked about in public on the show and in private. Usually it all blends together.
So Kurt Russell is playing a planet that impregnated someone.
So Star-Lord's father is a planet?
His name's Ego.
Apparently, because it's large.
Ego, the living planet.
Where does he,
I have no idea how this works.
Physically, how does he,
Kurt Russell, they showed there was
he use, his moon or something?
They showed that there's a costume that Kurt Russell's going to be in, so he'll be in some kind of physical form, but he's playing Ego, the living planet. I don't know how it's going to work. It's a departure, but we're going to have a talking planet in a movie, and that's amazing.
It's a talking planet that knocked up an Earth chick.
Yeah! Spider-Man concept art was released this week at San Diego Comic-Con, so we have confirmation that the Vulture will be the villain.
Yes. Cool outfit. I like the, you can see, some fan blades.
Yeah, they're giving him a reason to be able to fly versus just a guy flapping along.
Looking at the concept art and seeing, the wings, it kind of, reminded me of, the Green Goblin glider.
I'm a little worried about having Spider-Man and the villain having their faces covered again, because they showed that the Vulture has some kind of mask on. It doesn't give for a lot of emoting when everyone's wearing a mask.
But, I'm sure at some point, the Green Goblin had a mask. There was
a motorcycle helmet that was weird.
His mouth was open.
Why not show the goblin-y man underneath it?
Are you talking about...
I'm talking about Willem Dafoe. He looks like a goblin, in a good way.
Yes, but I like Willem Dafoe as Osborn.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. What I thought was kind of funny, though, was Sam Raimi, when he wanted to do Spider-Man 4, part of why there was a falling out is he wanted to do the Vulture. And they're like, you need to do more than the Vulture because that's such a B-list villain. You can't get away with just doing the Vulture.
We talked about this in a previous episode where some of the concept art also showed what looked like Mysterio.
Yeah, but that was going to be a quick in and out.
Some Mysterio is better than no Mysterio.
But that's part of why it fell apart is because he couldn't use the Vulture. Now they're like, bring on the Vulture!
But also,
Sam Raimi.
I think the Spider-Man films had worked best when there's, one villain. Think about Spider-Man 3.
Most movies work better.
Yeah, but, Spider-Man 3, you have the Sandman, and actually, 3. You had Sandman. What would you call Harry Osborn, the Hobgoblin?
They called him the New Goblin.
The New Goblin. And then you had Venom, which I thought Venom was severely underdone. Venom's, the big, outside of, the Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, it's Venom. Venom's a popular villain, and I didn't think that, what's his face from...
Topher Grace.
I don't think he did a bad job with it. I enjoyed it. I wish there was more Venom. But the Sandman, that was lame. It was lame, and how they tied it all back into the Sandman as the guy who killed Uncle Ben. And,
that part was lame. No, but I'll share my thoughts, which are almost the polar opposite of yours, on another episode.
All right. When we get into Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I'm
sure we'll do a Spider-Man
I do like
eventually.
Spider-Man.
Oh, I forgot to show you a trailer.
Oh, that's all right.
Did you see the Star Trek Discovery trailer?
No, I did not.
There's not much to say about it, and I'll describe it, paint you a word picture because it's just a teaser. All it is it shows the new CBS Star Trek show has been named Star Trek Discovery.
But there's no Enterprise. This is Those no Enterprise, right? It's like a different...
It's a different ship.
Because I think I'd read something about this.
I'm not sold on the design of it. So they have the big saucer section like most have, and you have the 2 nacelles.
Yeah.
As one does. But then the body of the ship is shaped like a Star Trek communicator. I was like, oh, I get it. Oh, that's stupid.
Where it comes down out of the saucer section into like the star drive section is shaped like the Star Trek insignia.
Yeah.
And then the nacelles come off like the 2 points.
Off the top, yeah.
Like off the top of the saucer?
No, off like the back of the 2 points.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google the image of it. You can continue to talk while I look up this image of.
All right. And I'm just going to keep talking Star Trek. It came out last week that there is going to be a Star Trek 4. And in Star Trek 4, we're getting back Chris Hemsworth as George Kirk.
I saw that.
We're going to have Kirk and Kirk teaming up. But how is he back? He face planted in like the first 5 minutes of the 2009 Star Trek.
I mean, he gave up his life.
I got a theory.
He got sucked into a black hole?
No, it got better than that.
Clone?
Mirror universe.
What?
He's going to be evil. He's going to come back with a goatee.
Oh. Why do you think that?
Because they've already done time travel. We haven't done the Mirror Universe. And the Mirror Universe is a classic episode. I'm going Mirror Universe with an evil George Kirk.
That'd be interesting, having to face your father.
Versus a whole, like, Daddy, I missed you for the last, 30-odd years. Remember that time you face-planted unceremoniously?
I wouldn't say face-planted. He saved most of the crew of the Kelvin.
Exploded and face-planted on the camera. My theory is Mirror Universe. That's what I want to see. I want George Kirk to come back with a goatee.
You're killing me.
What? That doesn't sound awesome to you?
I mean, it does, but the fact that you're saying that George Kirk face-planted, he sacrificed himself.
Still face-planted.
Whatever. I don't hate it. The design of the...
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got, I don't know, do you see what I mean with, the Star Trek, communicator thing?
Yeah, it's, kind of more like a chevron. But it's balanced. It's not
No, it's not the uneven kind of thing, but still, I think that was definitely the shape they were going with.
I don't know. I mean, I don't hate the design of the ship. Have we got a time frame as to when this takes place?
Star Trek nerds who are reading things on the bow and whatnot have theories, but I don't. And I didn't look into their theories.
Reasonable.
My news is my own. I do my own research. In my amount of research, I watched a trailer. But here's the bummer.
I thought this was all positive now that you got done talking about
Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't have a lot to... I really can't do anything about this here.
Okay.
Netflix signed a deal. They're going to have all of the Star Treks ever on Netflix, including this, except in the U.S. and Canada. So we would have to purchase it through CBS All Access.
I mean, I'm willing to do that, but it does kind of suck.
Yeah.
But that means we get every episode of the original series, every episode of Next Generation, which is already on there.
All the
DS9.
Yeah, it's all going to be on
Voyager,
Netflix.
all the movies.
Yeah.
Because right now, the movies kind of rotate through.
Supposedly. I don't know about the movies, but I know at least all the shows are.
Tell you, right now, though.
I think they said everything was going to be
I'm on a big Trek kick.
We are. This is week 3 of Trek, followed by, 4 weeks of DC stuff.
Oh, why you gotta go and depress me?
Nah, man, I'm excited about DC.
Although, I'll tell you what, there's some good DC stuff coming up.
Speaking of, there were trailers. I just want to paint the picture for you here. So, there I am at work, and I'm, watching Twitter, and there are people who are in Hall H. Like, oh, this trailer just happened. They're like, that. It's on the internet. Then I'm like, oh my god, how could they top that? That's amazing. I'm so glad that happened. They're like, there's another trailer. And it just kept going. I'm like, when does it stop? DC just took it, put it out all on the table, and said, look at it. Look at what we have. Come to us. Love us.
They are putting up a fight against the MCU right now.
Oh my god. So we open up. It's like
the Monday Night Wars in wrestling all over again. Now it's finally getting good. Now we're going to get good competition in movies.
The distinguished competition is swinging back.
I like it. I like the cut. And I watched some of these trailers of my own volition.
Yeah, we can't even touch on all the DC trailers. I mean, there was another Suicide Squad trailer, which was amazing. We're not going to talk about. There was a Lego Batman one that was great. There was a new Harry Potter one that sold me on the movie a bit more. Warner Brothers really put it all out there, not including even their TV stuff. Their Flash trailer was amazing. And, oh, my God, so much stuff. But we can't talk about everything.
The best stuff, though.
We're hitting Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was supposed to happen around 2007, 2008. Originally, Warner's had hired Joss Whedon to write and direct it. It fell through. All we ever got was a teaser poster. That was it.
And Joss Whedon heads over to the MCU and is killing it with the Avengers stuff.
Then Warner's got said, we should have gone with him.
Yeah. Oh, Joss Whedon is showing us what happens when we piss him off.
But that didn't happen, and this movie lost another director, Michelle MacLaren from Breaking Bad fame. She fell out due to creative differences. Then we get Patty Jenkins, who hasn't done a ton, but oh my god, this trailer.
It is fun. It's exciting. We get some more Chris Pine. A lot of Chris Pine in our life recently.
Yeah, it opens up, and it looks beautiful. It is a beautiful looking movie. We open with Chris Pine, and I got a theory about Chris Pine. Chris Pine, clearly an American soldier, is wearing an Iron Cross. I think he's an undercover agent.
You think he's German?
I think he's undercover.
Okay.
And I think he gets, because we see him in the plane shooting things down later in the trailer, I think he gets shot down, like, after he blows his cover and starts shooting things.
And, like, ends up on the island?
Yeah, on Themyscira.
Okay.
And Wonder Woman, who's still about 5,000 years old at this point, has never seen a man before.
I don't think any of the women on Themyscira have seen men.
I'm sure
or a few have.
Some of them have, but yeah.
That kind of reminds me of, from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the nunnery, where all the nuns are. And
it's not like that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
We should all punish you now.
So
I need more punishment.
It's going to be set around 1918. We're going to have World War I era Wonder Woman, which I'm all for. The action in this trailer looks amazing.
Yeah.
I was all for this movie. I'm like, yay, Wonder Woman. I like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's, she's in the Trinity, a DC character. She's huge. But I wasn't totally sold on this movie. I'm like, okay, unknown director. DC movies so far have been middling. But this looks good.
It had, like, all the feel of it. And it's like, even though it's interesting because we've been introduced to the character this year, but now we kind of go back and get a little bit about her. Interesting way to go about it. I like it.
I like seeing the lasso glowing.
The lasso glowing. She's whipping up on everybody. The scene where she's kind of approaching one of the lines, like the firing lines, and she's like repelling all the bullets with her shield.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to be vulnerable, which is good. You can't have...
Diana is kicking ass.
Too overpowered. It looks like someone is going to attack Themyscira. We have soldiers on that same beach that we saw Chris Pine on.
They look like German soldiers, I think, if I recall.
They could have been. There's a theory that supposedly Ares is going to be leading them in disguise, the god of war, but we'll find out. There's a couple of moments. There's one that I didn't really like when they show her like walking through the party and she has a sword like down the back of her dress. I'm like, that's not incognito.
No, not at all.
That's definitely a sword.
It's also not very comfortable, probably, to have a sword like down your back.
Yeah, probably not.
No, but the other thing I was thinking of too, like not just like with this trailer, but piggybacking on when we talk about what we're gonna talk about next. We have a lot of new Batman and a lot of new Wonder Woman out right now. When you think about it, with Batman v Superman. Plus, there won't be any Batman and Wonder Woman. No. But then you get Wonder Woman in Justice League, too, because she's, like, everywhere right now.
Yeah,
we are getting flooded with this character, which is great. It's great to have a strong, feminine character right now kind of taking over.
Like, I don't care about it as a feminine character. I look at it as long as it's a good character, I'm on board.
Yeah, but, there's a little bit to that. I can see maybe DC's kind of pushing it, because right now, I want you to tell me Marvel's #1 strong feminine character.
Black Widow.
Yeah, and does she have her own movie?
Nope.
She piggybacks in every other movie.
She doesn't even get an action figure.
Exactly. But now Wonder Woman she's in Batman v Superman. She's getting her own movie. She's in Justice League. So within a year and a half, she's going to be in 3 movies. Yeah. And over the last 10 years, you've got little spots of Black Widow. Don't get me wrong. I love Black Widow.
The other thing that we get at the end of the trailer is we get Etta Candy, which I love seeing just as a classic Wonder Woman character. But I didn't know it was going to be in there.
It looked fun. That movie, the trailer looks fun. I'm excited for it.
It looks really, really good.
You know what else I'm excited for?
Are you trying to segue?
Oh, I'm going to segue hard. Unless you got more to say.
Nah, I'll do it. Wonder Woman looks good.
Wonder Woman looks good. Justice League looks like it's a friggin' blast,
But here's the thing. No one knew Justice League was coming. We knew we were going to get,
We knew at some point.
They were going to walk the cast out on stage. They were going to do, little, here we are. And that's all anyone thought was happening. We got a trailer. We got a full-blown trailer.
Yeah, and it looks fun.
It does. Did you see the image?
No.
Well, thanks for not looking at every tweet I put up.
Which image?
Of the Justice League. So we got... Because there was a character missing from this trailer.
Let's see. There was Cyborg was in the trailer.
We're missing Superman.
Oh, yes.
But he is in the promo picture that they released. And he's doing something. Something different. Smiling. What a weird concept.
Yeah. Oh man, but there was so much more stuff I felt like in the Justice League trailer. What do you think of the Flash?
We'll see.
I thought it was
I might like
cool.
him. I dislike Ezra Miller as a person. He's like an older, less intense Jaden Smith. Like every time he talks, I'm like, just stop. Stop spewing the annoying crap you're spewing, and let's just tighten those lips a little.
I love the slow motion scene though, like when Bruce throws the bat star at him.
The Batarang?
The Batarang and everything.
Boy, that's a trusting Batman. He's like, hey, here I am. I'm Batman. Never met you before. I usually only do this with women I'm trying to sleep with.
I mean, I like before you even finish this, yep, I'm in. I really don't have many friends. And
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't particularly like Ezra Miller, but I'm also, I'll let the performance stand for itself.
Yeah.
We definitely got the most of Barry in that trailer.
But I think it's going to be cool to see. We're going to see Batman in a role we've never seen him in before.
Yeah, Batman is typically your loner character, but this time he's assembling the team.
He's assembling the team. He's putting it together. Man, I hope we get some more of Jeffrey Irons as
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
He's in it.
He is?
Yeah, he is.
Damn right he better be. But
then we get some other characters. We get a little bit more Aquaman.
That looks cool, some of the stuff with Aquaman.
So, you know what I read on the interwebs?
What did you read on the interwebs? Because everything on the internet is true.
That's that shot where the waves are crashing and cover him up.
Yes.
Supposedly that's practical.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought, because I naturally assumed that would be a CG shot, but
no. But I like that whole I hear you talk to Fish, and he throws Batman up against the wall, but Bruce has got this beard and the long unkept hair.
But I like how he opens that. He opens that as Batman. He opens it as the detective.
Oh yeah.
He's like, XYZ happens. This cat's here. Where's he at?
Yeah.
That's Batman detecting. And there's never enough Batman detecting in these movies, and I just want Batman detecting
He
things.
is the world's greatest detective.
He is. I just want him thinking a bunch, not hitting people with kitchen sinks.
Well, I a little both, really. I like when Batman gets a little violent. Not a lot of Cyborg, though. Cyborg is kind of glossed over in the trailer.
Well, probably because
they really build up Aquaman in this. Aquaman and the Flash. Not so much Cyborg.
Cyborg is going to be a fully CG character, except for the face. I imagine they just don't. They haven't been shooting for that long. I'm surprised they showed any Cyborg. They probably don't have that much that's fully rendered at this point.
But man, think about the CG for the Barry Allen scene, for the Flash scene, when the Batarang, he stows things down and catches the Batarang. I mean, it looks like they have quite a bit in the can, enough to be confident to put out, what was it, 2.5 minutes?
Yeah. We see a little bit of mother boxes with some nights that's being covered. There's not a lot of hints. We already know that it's going to be dealing with Jack Kirby's New Gods. One of the things that's, this is going back to a Batman v Superman promo image, is there was one they revealed Aquaman's costume. It said Unite the Seven. But they've only announced 6 Justice League members. Does Unite the Seven mean Unite the Seven Seas? Does it mean Unite 7 Justice League members? Is there someone that we don't know that's in this movie yet who's going to pop up?
I like all the questions.
It could be anything. I don't have an answer to it, but I'm curious. I'd assume it's going to be a 7th Justice League member that we just haven't seen yet.
I just know that watching that trailer, I'm excited. I don't need to watch that trailer again when I go home tonight.
I know. All I've been doing in my spare time is listening to Hamilton and watching the Justice League trailer when I'm not doing that.
You live a real exciting life.
I do.
What did you do today?
You make it sound like those are bad things. I'm
not saying it's a bad thing, but
I'm going to sit back and be happy.
What did you do today? I listened to Hamilton 4 times and watched the Justice League trailer 12 times.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if there was a new Batman voice or not, if they lightened it up a little bit. You'll hear that one thing, he's like...
See, I've seen the trailer once, not 100 times, so I can't tell.
Where he's just like, I'm real when I need to be, which sounded like a lot less gruff than do you bleed?
Yes. Well, I
couldn't tell if they lightened up the tone.
Well, I don't think he's angry in this movie. In this movie, he's on a mission. Before, he was pissed off at Superman. Now he's not angry.
I don't know. It sounded a little different, not in a bad way, because, I want to make sure I can actually understand what the hell he's saying.
True.
And then...
You want to save your favorite for last?
It's not necessarily my favorite, but why not? We'll go on to Doctor Strange.
New Doctor Strange trailer.
It dropped. And overall, Marvel did something different than DC did. DC, like I said, immediately released all their trailers after premiering them in Hall H. Marvel kind of kept it close to the chest. They released other trailers, but I didn't see them, so I can't talk about them. There's a whole Guardians trailer out there that those people saw.
That you haven't seen yet?
I'm sure if I wanted to, I could find cam footage.
Yeah.
Not... we're going to talk about what was legally released.
Fair enough. I feel like the Doctor Strange trailer, it didn't really give us too much new.
It gave us more effects to show a little bit more of the whole, what they're doing. I feel like Disney's going into this look, we don't condone drug use, but if you want to do some drugs before you see this, that might be okay.
It's very Inception-y. very Inception-y. With like the cityscapes all folding in on themselves and whatnot.
It's taken it a level beyond. It's not just like we're folding up a couple of walls. That's like we're folding up a couple of walls and throwing a whole other city over here and there, and it's like layers on layers on layers. It looks insane.
Yes. No, I mean we meet what's his face there, the manservant who's not really a manservant.
Wong. Yeah,
Wong.
We get a little bit of Wong.
So we like get a look at maybe a couple of sidekicks, a couple of guys to kind of help Doctor Strange on his journey.
They've Marvel's released, and this is going to be 2 issues. 1 issue's out so far of a Marvel Doctor Strange prequel comic. And they've shown Wong, he's supposed to be a master of the mystic arts. They've also shown things that kind of got confirmed in this trailer, that the Sanctum Sanctorum, where Doctor Strange traditionally purchases in Greenwich Village, is already associated with the Ancient One. In both the comic and this trailer, we see the Cloak of Levitation in a case in there.
You know what we didn't get in the trailer? The damn Crimson Bands of the Sidorak.
We did not. We might have got a Flame Whip, though.
That's still Crimson Band of the Sidorak.
But it looks...
Although, if I had a Flame Whip, I'd probably I would use it on occasion. All the time. Every day.
The theory is that the Eye of Agamotto is going to be the time gem, so he's going to be connecting to the Marvel Universe that way. But, that's just going off of interviews with Kevin Feige. There's nothing in this trailer to necessarily say that, but I think it's a pretty sound theory.
Well, this is important, too, because this is the first... Yeah, sure, Guardians was kind of it ties in a little bit because they had the
Power Gem.
The Power Gem. So we had one of the why can't I think of the name?
Infinity.
Yeah, one of the Infinity Gems. One of the Infinity Stones. Which, by the way, I had a weird dream about the Infinity Stones the other night.
Why?
I don't know, but I just did. And that we actually were part of a group that found one of the Infinity Stones. They were actually real. It's a totally different story for a totally different time.
Let it seep into your unconscious.
I probably shouldn't, eat pizza before bed.
Did you microwave it?
No.
Of course you didn't.
I was tired and I wanted a quick, bite before I went to sleep.
But
I gotta give the Edheads something to bitch about this week with me. I'm drinking a quality American lager tonight.
We're going local. We're local to where I was.
Local to where you were. Well, local to my home state.
It's true, yeah.
So if you can figure out, here we go. This is the challenge. We won't tell you what brew this is, but if you can figure out what quality American lager from my home state we are having tonight or during the show, and you can tweet it at me and you get it right, I will buy you a comic book from Editor's Note Comics.
I picked this up in the tri-state area. Go with that.
Well, they're going to think Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont.
Tri-state?
That's the tri-state megabox is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, but you were in New Jersey.
That ain't the tri-state.
But you just gave it away, and I went to buy somebody a comic book. Under $5. Under $5, because I'm cheap.
You can buy that $300 one I got.
No.
They didn't release a lot in here. One of the things that I'm excited about that I hope we're going to see in the movie is in this prequel book, we get a connection to the Runaways, which I'm not going to go into long, but it was a Brian K. Vaughan book. He did it for 24 issues. And there's a lot of magic in there, including what we see in the comic is the Staff of One, which excites me, the idea that we're getting a Runaways connection. I think I did talk about Runaways as a property I want to see adapted.
Yes.
Kids who discover their parents are supervillains, but we see one of those parents in this prequel book. I'm like, are we leading into Runaways? With the Staff of One, this magical staff that can only cast one spell. You can do any spell in the world, but you can only do it once.
So everyone gets one turn with it?
Well, you could be like, I want to be invisible, but you can only be invisible once.
Could you have your spell be I want unlimited spells?
No.
Could you be I want to have a staff of 5?
No.
Could you I want to be able to fly?
Once.
So you can only fly one time.
Yeah.
So when you stop flying, you would land. Yeah. And you'd be done.
You gotta find, you wouldn't be find workarounds, yeah. So it makes it interesting. You gotta find those workarounds.
That seems like the lamest thing in the world.
I don't know, you gotta be creative. It's
Could
fun.
you with the Staff of One, I'm gonna cast a spell for $1 million.
You might want to up it from $1 million.
Well,
you
that's not being greedy.
At it.
$1 billion.
There you go.
Tax free.
There you go.
Now we're talking. And then I could build something I could fly in.
I don't know, the trailer looks really good. We got to see a little bit more of the world, but it didn't give a lot away, which I like. I don't know how I feel about Benedict Cumberbatch's accent. It sounds like an Englishman trying to do an American accent.
Oh, you mean like House?
Very much like House.
Which, I didn't think Hugh Laurie did a good job with it. I didn't think it was a terrible American accent. Although it's hard for me to judge because, American accent, I hear all the time. New England accent, hear all the time. I wonder what we sound like to people, from, Great Britain or Norway, or I do that sometimes.
But Doctor Strange looking amazing.
He does.
That's all we really got out of the Marvel world because we weren't at Hall H and they didn't give us a lot. So I'm going to say DC wins. DC wins Comic-Con.
Okay. And DC needed something, especially after how Batman vs Superman.
Well, I think that's what this was. This was a good faith event.
And they've got Suicide Squad coming up.
Yeah, really soon.
Oh, I think I did see the Comic-Con Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah,
Didn't they have like Harley Quinn inside Joker's car?
Oh, that's been in a couple of them, but yeah.
But she's actually, you see her in the car.
Yeah. That trailer looks good, but we're not talking about that trailer. We're moving on to one more trailer before we get back into the land of Star Trek.
Your favorite monkey.
My favorite monkey.
This might be the longest.
Kong!
This might be the longest news segment ever, by the way.
Probably. There's so much. But we got our first real trailer for Kong Skull Island.
He is massive.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I gotta acclimate to that. I'm not used to it.
But you know what I like? I like Samuel L. Jackson in this, being badass as usual.
Being Samuel L. Jackson.
Telling John Goodman he's going to blow his face off if he doesn't tell him what he needs to know.
What's interesting, so the cast on this looks amazing. Like I said, Sam Jackson, John Goodman, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson. Good looking cast.
Yes.
But John Goodman, they show him in a helicopter shooting a roll of film. Like, all right, is he going to be like the Carl Denham character? Because I looked up the name on IMDb. That's not Carl Denham, so he's something else, but he's someone else who's filming, who's trying to reveal the creatures on Skull Island to the world.
Well, I mean, he says it right in the trailer. Like, I've been spending my whole life trying to prove that these monsters are real.
But I just want to see if he's like a Carl Denham type like filmmaker. But I guess we'll find out when we see it. There's not enough.
We get a view of a really cool Triceratops skeleton that they're fighting around. They're shooting guns off of.
Yeah, there's got to be dinosaurs in this movie. You can't go to Skull Island and not show dinosaurs.
No, I mean, you see the friggin' Triceratops skeleton, so you know right there.
Skeletons.
Please, there's going to be.
Yeah.
We are going to get, and there's like, indeed, there's just people of Skull Island are there, and Kong is huge.
Well, the director keeps on throwing out these things like, oh, we're just trying to do something different. Like, you're not really trying to do something different. You just have to make him big to make it so he can reasonably fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
This isn't an aesthetic choice that you're making. Like, we're going to do it different. Is
Godzilla going to be in this movie?
I don't think so, but he could be. This is set in the 1970s. I mean...
Well, yeah, it gives sense, like the Vietnam-style helicopters.
Yeah.
No, it looked good. I'm not huge on Kong. I've never really gotten to the whole Kong mythos, but...
This is a different take. At this point, you kind of have to do different. We've seen the regular Kong story 3 separate times. One of them was awful. But I'll go into it. I want it to be good because it's one of my favorite things in the world. My only concern going into the trailer, the size of it I need to get used to. And we didn't see a full shot of Kong, but we got these like little hints here and there. He looked awfully vertical for an ape.
He's standing straight up.
Yeah.
Standing straight up.
I don't feel good about that.
Well, we'll see how it is. Maybe he does have maybe a little hunch. I don't know, but... I mean, it's first look trailer. Hard to really like judge. On that.
Believe me, I want this movie to be good. I want keep giving me Kong. Give me good Kong.
Big Kong.
Give me good Kong.
Give me King Kong.
Yeah. There's like that new Netflix show that's out there which I'll never touch.
Which one?
It's like some futuristic Kong animated show.
Oh, wow.
I'm never gonna watch it. I know someone who worked on that show, and I'm not gonna touch that thing.
I can't remember the last time I was able to like really log into Netflix and enjoy something where I wasn't working.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, no, because you usually aren't in my house when I'm, at home at night.
No, generally speaking, not.
Anyway, that's a lot of news.
That is the news, and that is just touching the surface of San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, it's like Christmas, folks.
Christmas in July.
I know, real Christmas isn't this exciting.
Well, real Christmas is still what?
Real Christmas is Star Wars now.
5 months away.
Star Wars.
Oh, no, the next big... I would say Suicide Squad, really.
Well, no, that's Christmas, because it's coming out in December.
Oh, well, whatever. But I was saying,
Star Wars Christmas.
There you go. Better than the Star Wars Christmas special. It's not Life Day? Life Day.
It is not Life Day.
Thank God.
And B. Arthur does not appear to be anywhere in any of these trailers.
This is also... Well, isn't B. Arthur dead?
I don't know.
Fact-checking the show. Is B. Arthur dead? If you were to go through my Google history on Tuesday nights...
I did that earlier. I was like, Albert Brooks alive? Question mark?
I love how I put B, and the first two... Like, the first one is B Sting dangerous? Is B. Arthur still alive? Was the second Google auto-search. B. Arthur died in 2009. April 25th, 2009. R.I.P. B. Arthur. R.I.P. Thank you for being a friend.
On
to the movie review!
I'm going to let that silence sit there.
On the movie review!
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
Oh, this week, coming out kind of late in America, but what are you going to do? Star Trek Beyond, the third Star Trek movie in the reboot universe, directed by Justin Lin.
Oh my god.
Surprisingly good reviews around this movie. I went into it, I wasn't expecting really much out of it, because Into Darkness left me kind of feeling cold. Cold and alone. Oh, but Star Trek Beyond opened up, and my god, what a pleasant surprise. We're going to go to this non-spoilers before we get into spoilers, so let's keep it general. First off, this is the first Star Trek movie in this rebooted universe that I think feels like its own thing. The first one was so aware that it was a reboot. The second one was a kind of terrible remake. And this one, it's its own thing.
It's definitely its own thing. And I think sometimes when you get like into these iconic franchises, when you have the person who's kind of responsible for the reboot or whatever, or the genesis of it, step away, the first movie sometimes when they step away has a chance to be really, really good. Think about the Star Wars. When George Lucas stepped away from the second one and Irving Kershner came in, that's the best of the series. Yeah. I think Into Darkness, and we'll talk about this more with our patent review system, best of the new three. And that's not a knock on J.J. Abrams. Beyond.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree because it's kind of the first one that feels...
And it's not a knock on J.J. Abrams either, because I thought he did it. I do enjoy Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, but this one it had something about it.
Well, compared to Into Darkness, this one, there are a lot of references to the original series, and I'm sure there's a few that I didn't catch. But they have stuff like Kirk talking to the ship's log, being like, oh, this is getting really episodic.
Yeah.
And then they have things like, I ripped my shirt again, because Shatner ripped his shirt like every other minute, or just didn't wear a shirt. And then there are lines.
You and I were the only ones that went, ha, in the theater when he said that in the early part of the movie.
Well, there was one that was like, maybe a big green space hand took that ship. I'm like, oh, that was an episode. I remember that.
Yes, it was. It was
the God Apollo.
Yes, it was. I don't know. It was weird to say this because I don't want to take away from the movie and not make it feel like a movie, but it felt like an extended version of an original episode.
Yeah, it just felt like
episode. It was grand. And it handled its subplots well. It handled multiple storylines well. It just had everything. It was oh my god, what a great
movie.
And we got to explore the cat. We got to explore the different characters. They broke them off perfectly.
Which is nice, because that really has to happen. It's mostly been the Kirk and Spock show so far.
And here's the other thing that I really, really enjoyed. Think about where the majority of action-type sequences in the Star Trek movies take place. Where? All the high drama, where everyone is, all the ensemble, where do these big moments take place?
The bridge.
Exactly. Where was the bridge?
Upside down.
Exactly. So they took not only did they take this team off the bridge, all right?
Pancake that.
They took the bridge away and they separated everybody. And they worked on bringing them back together. I thought that Simon Pegg, who played Scotty in this, was a co-writer on it. He and the writing team did a fantastic job.
He could have said Lassie a few fewer times.
Yeah, but
if he cut out like 20 Lassies, we'd still probably have 40 Lassies too many.
You're nitpicking.
It was really annoying.
You're nitpicking.
That's not even
the point. You're nitpicking.
No, he said too much and you know
it. You're nitpicking.
Well, Lassie, every other sentence, too much.
Yes, we get it. You're Scottish.
Stop it.
Nitpicking.
Yeah, no.
But I love that they took... you see it in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. There's no Enterprise. There is no Enterprise.
So, even that in itself, one thing that this movie does is, this is the Star Trek 50th anniversary. Granted, I haven't been watching it for 50 years, but I've seen about 50 years worth of material. I've seen a lot of Trek, and I saw some stuff in this movie I've never seen before, the way the shots were designed. Things like seeing the ship in warp, or seeing the ship come out of dock, and there was a lot of static cameras that would just follow things, like you'd follow the ship, or Kirk on an escape pod, we just have the camera mounted over his shoulder. You see it go out. These are shots we've never seen. It was something new. I love a new Trek.
I love the profile shot of the ship in warp, where you see the warp bubble going around the ship, and I love that. I love. I actually thought the concept of Station Yorktown really cool.
Here's the thing, though. Yorktown. Don't know if I mentioned this. I've been listening to Hamilton a lot.
Yeah.
And they talk about the Battle of Yorktown and that, like, Yorktown. 1781. Yeah, Hamilton, bitch.
You know what happened at Yorktown, right?
I do, because I listen to Hamilton a lot.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention in your U.S. history class, though. Yorktown is where the British surrendered.
Yeah, I know, because I listen to Hamilton. Look, it's edutainment that works, and it's never happened before.
Wow. Yeah, so
this is the first successful edutainment in history to come by you.
So prior to you listening to Hamilton nonstop on your trip to the tri-state area and back, you didn't know what the Battle of Yorktown was.
Yeah, probably not.
And you call yourself American.
I'm educated now.
It's education. It's
edutainment. Look, if every MacArthur Genius Award winner would just go write me a musical about American history, I would know a lot. Anyway, without spoiling the movie, because this really doesn't count, I like the way the movie opens. It kind of goes with the old kind of Trek thing of trying to have Starfleet diplomacy with this new alien race.
Yes.
Which the movie opened up and I wasn't really buying it, because to me that alien race looked a lot like the Goblin King from the Hobbit movies.
A little bit.
Or I was just like, ugh. That's bringing back unpleasant memories.
You know what else I liked about that, though? Like, the movie also had, like, little bits of comedy that Star Trek is, like, good at. With good Star Trek, will have little bits of good comedy in it. And this had little bits of good comedy in it. I love that it opened up with Captain's Log.
Yeah, just little stuff like that.
It didn't
beat you over the head with it. And God, what a convenient built-in way to do exposition.
Oh my God, it was not. I was just about to say, that's tremendous exposition. Tells you where they are 3 years into the 5-year mission and how the crew's handling it. It's like, it lays it all out for you, and it does it in such a clean, neat, tidy way that advances the story.
What day they were on? 966. Let's throw a 1 in front of that.
1966
might be the year Star Trek started.
50 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
You know, I'd like to say I caught that myself. I didn't. That was when I read online. I was like, I should have got it.
I don't feel like I've been outwitted now.
No, that was not when I caught myself. I'd like to say it was me, but I'll build my own show.
Yeah.
And I'll say when I get my information elsewhere. That wasn't me.
Citing your sources. I like it. Very academic of you.
MTP.
This is edutainment.
To get the full range of the cast in this movie, which was really the first time, and I'm going to say it, I liked Carl Urban. I gave him a lot of crap last time. I may have used some choice words that I cut out of the final episode.
I told you, don't sleep on my boy Carl Urban. Don't sleep on Bones.
Boy, he had a lot of designer clothes and haircuts.
Oh my God.
That was weird.
Nitpicking.
Like, huh.
Hashtag nitpicker.
Leather jackets, still popular.
Nitpicking. Oh, it was just fun. There was fun action sequences, new characters, and it felt new. It felt like it was a new...
That's something that we can say that I don't think is a spoiler. The new characters, with the exception of our main villain, Jayla, who is named after Jennifer Lawrence of J-Law.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the thing. The secondary villain and the swarm that you see in the trailers destroying the Enterprise.
Yeah.
We got nothing. No backstory, no nothing. We don't know anything about him, really.
No, but you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. It's new. It's, exploring strange new worlds and seeking out new life and new civilizations, boldly going where no one's gone before. But I liked it.
But it's a little bit weak when Jayla has to be confronting the individual who killed her father we know literally nothing about.
I know, it's hard to be emotionally invested in that.
Which is too bad, because it was a good fight, and I feel like if I had a touch more of information, I would have been more into that fight. It was like, good stunts. Good stunts there.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I like that one long take. It was good.
Yeah. That's what I liked about it, too, is the movie played itself out in long shots. There weren't a lot of jumping around. Jeremy Lin did it. I mean, he took...
Justin Lin.
Oh, Justin Lin, sorry. Jeremy Lin's like a basketball player, I think.
Couldn't tell you.
But Justin Lin, who took the Fast and the Furious franchise from, movies to really good stuff. I think he's kind of doing the same thing here. He plays out in long shots.
That dirt bike scene was good action, though, right?
Yeah, no.
They're like, this dirt bike has been sitting here for 150 years. Definitely works when you turn it on.
Well, there were other things that have been sitting there for some time that also worked when they turned them on. Just saying. Which we'll get to in the spoiler section. But man, I liked it. It felt new. It felt fresh, but it also felt familiar. It felt like a nice, big, fat, juicy episode of Star Trek. That's what I wanted. Because, the other thing that it does is, had there not been a fourth film, I would have been satisfied with that being kind of the swan song.
I wouldn't, so I'm glad there is more. But
I'm glad there's more. But it wouldn't have,
Boy, how do you wrap this up, though? in this day and age of constant reboots and reimaginings, it's gonna be a tough nut to wrap at some point.
I think that we're probably gonna engage with some Klingons here.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm voting Mirror Universe.
Could be because we do know that we have Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Coming back as George Kirk in the next film.
Come on, Mirror Universe would be awesome.
It would be really awesome, but we haven't really touched on the classic. When you think of the original series, who are the villains in the original series?
I mean, in the original, it was more the Klingons.
Exactly.
The next generation was more about Romulans.
Yeah, but in the original series, it was about the Klingons. Have we had any, except for the one excursion on the Kronos?
Yeah, except for that time we went to their planet.
Yeah, but the conflict was not with the Klingons.
I'm fine with something new, though. We've seen the Klingons. Give me something. That's part of what I liked about this, is we had something new.
True.
I want to start talking about the movie itself. So, given our patented rating system of see it in theaters, red box it, or oh my god, why are you wasting your time with this? I spent money, why should you? I'm going to say see it in theaters.
That's kind of an addition onto the why am I waiting. You're really extending the last option.
We need to come up with a better way to say it.
You know what, Michael?
See it in theaters.
Why are you wasting your time listening to this podcast when you should be seeing this movie in the theater?
No, listen.
Yeah, listen to our podcast and then go see the movie in the theater. Although, unless you haven't seen it yet, go see the movie in the theater, pause the podcast, come back, and then follow us along, and we'll recap the fantastic movie journey you just went on.
We'll be here for you. We'll wrap you in a Star Trek blanket. We'll play you our little Picard flutes.
We'll give you some Earl Grey tea, hot.
And then at the end, we'll give you some pain sticks.
Wow. Welcome back, those of you who had left the show and gone to see the movie and are back with us. God,
if you don't know Trek, this is a really alienating episode. The last couple have been. Hello.
Although we did get a huge... I got a compliment tweet. I'm going to call it a compliment tweet. Oh, that sounds really bad. A compliment tweet. A compliment tweet sounds like,
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, Old School Ross loved our Next Generation episode. I think he was also proud of me for, not drinking Bud Light.
Everyone should be proud of you for that.
Oh, don't worry. I still have Bud Light on.
So now we are getting into spoilers.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
So Spock's dead.
Well, that's not really a spoiler. Everyone knows that.
In between movies, Leonard Nimoy did pass away. And it was kind of this question of, is the movie going to address it? How are they going to deal with it? And it became to be a major plot point.
Oh, and they handled it fantastically. I love how they wrote it, because you've got, it's real interesting because you open up with the captain's log, and Kirk's talking about how he feels almost like trapped. He's having a great conversation with Bones.
Oh, actually, I didn't mention that. That was something, the beginning of this movie I felt a little rocky on, because we get those weird kind of Goblin King monsters. Then we go kind of into a Star Trek II reference again of it's Kirk's birthday. He's feeling weird about being old and having a six-pack.
Yeah.
But poor old Kirk.
But here Kirk, it's more like...
But I was a little worried about that, because we're getting that referential stuff again, But then
he goes into,
That's very wrong.
Yeah. He is now older than his father ever was.
Yeah.
And, Bones addresses it, because this is not, in the original universe, this wasn't a thing, because George Kirk lived a nice long life. Kirk's birthday, which really, I never really associated the two together when you think about it. But, Bones did a good little piece of exposition. They're like, your birthday is the same day your old man bit the dust.
Yeah.
Which then we get our first, you're not really good at bedside manner.
I like Kirk in this movie. I think the character has matured well beyond what we first see of a sexual harassing, bar fighting.
Yeah, who thinks he's above the rules and everything. He's definitely grown.
Yeah, we show him as someone who's mature, who understands their job and also knows, I'm good at my job.
Yeah, but he's also wanting more. He just feels like he, isn't. He feels like he's destined for maybe something better, which kind of brought back resonance of Captain Pike talking to him you're destined for something better. But is he really? Because he's the captain of the freaking Starship Enterprise, and he's doing it, man. And
we glossed over the Spock thing. We were on and then we were off it. So,
well, because the Spock thing kind of happened after they did the whole Bones and Kirk had a birthday drink.
Young Spock wants to leave and go mate with other Vulcans to keep on the Vulcan race and follow in Spock Prime's shoes.
He finds out Spock Prime is dead.
Well, no, once he finds out, he's like, see you later.
Yeah, but this is also a nice little piece of parallel storytelling, because they're at this space station Yorktown, and Kirk has
1781
has applied to be the vice admiral of this place, which is totally like not like within his character. Like he's like looking to sell that, which is interesting because it wasn't like, I feel like we've moved on from like the Shatner Kirk and this is now the Pine Kirk and it's different. But no, I liked it, like the parallel storytelling of like, you know, how Kirk is important to Spock and how Spock is important to Kirk and how they intertwine. And it's interesting because they're both looking to go their own way, and there's a neat scene within the turbo lift about like, oh, I got something to tell you, no, you tell me, and you know they both have something to say, and it's like, you know,
which is more of the Spurk. We're shipping them. They are now Spurk.
Okay,
let's not do that. Which is more of the Kirk and Spock kind of stuff. We still fully didn't get what I wanted of having the Kirk, Spock, McCoy, but we at least did get Spock and McCoy together to show those two sides.
Mm-hmm. But I think we get a little bit of both. We get a little bit of Kirk and McCoy. We get a little bit of Spock and McCoy.
They do share a couple of scenes, but it is just a couple. But on the other hand, we got more of the full cast, so, you know, it's kind of pick or choose, and ultimately I think I'd rather have the full cast involved than just the three.
Yeah, I think I like... Everybody played a key role because we get separated.
What did you think of the Sulu relationship thing?
I thought it was handled well. Didn't really bother me. I liked it. Apparently, there's a deleted scene where they kiss.
Yeah, I read that too.
No, I liked it. It was subtle, and nobody really made a big deal of it, which is the way it should be.
I feel like in editing, because what ends up happening in the movie is they get into Yorktown, and Kirk is looking around him, looking at everyone who has a full life outside of the ship, and he's smiling, and it's cutting around, but it kind of hangs on that couple for maybe a second too long, where it's like,
okay, we get it.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's just an editing thing.
By the way, what do you think of Yorktown? Which is, by the way, for those of you who are like listening to the spoiler section because you want to ruin the movie because you don't know what it means to go out and have a good time, and you want us to like tell you the story. It's this giant space station, pretty much on the edge of Federation space. It's like DS9 on like steroids. It's like DS9 meets Halo.
Yeah, it was kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Tomorrowland.
Okay, I could see that. Did you see like when I said like kind of like, you know, Deep Space Nine meets Halo though, with like / Inception?
Yeah, I like the design of it, but that felt a little unoriginal to me. It's like stuff I've seen before, but the movie doesn't really take place there, so it didn't really affect me that much.
Yeah,
and then kind of the thing that was hanging over the movie for me was the death of Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Because every time he was on screen, I just got kind of sad. And they have, like, at the end, they're like, to fallen friends, and they all raise a toast, and he's right in that shot.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't, they're not going to recast the role, which I think is good. I mean, I can understand recasting if it's something like a contract or some kind of financial thing, but in a case like this, they said they're not going to recast him, which I think is smart.
So, I mean, it's a fitting end to check off.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll probably be like, oh, he's off on another ship, another mission, something like that. But it definitely hung over the movie for me, and I don't think watching the movie I'll ever be able to see past that.
Yeah, I mean, it was tragic. It's a tragic thing. I look at it from the standpoint of, I'm not going to let my movie experience...
No, and he was good at it.
He was good in it. It's very good in it.
This is definitely the most play he's got of any of these movies, which I can also say for the rest of the cast that isn't Kirk or Spock.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was good on a side mission with Kirk. I think they had that one alien whose name I don't remember, who just kept on like not dying. Like, she's going to make it to the end. And then they dropped the Enterprise on her face.
The one that kind of like brought them out to the planet through the nebula.
Yeah.
So like long story short, they're at Yorktown reprovisioning the ship. And this alien comes in and it's like, my crew is stranded on the other side of the nebula, and the nebula is like this unknown. Like, you can't transmit through the nebula. Nobody knows what's on the other side of the nebula. So the Enterprise goes on this rescue mission, and upon immediately getting to this planet, is messed up. It was a trap.
Here's my main complaint to the movie.
It's a trap.
This reaches a level, and it's one of those things, if you just roll with it, whatever, but if you think about it for 3 seconds, it's a level of unimaginable convenience. So our main villain, who we'll talk about in a second, there are two parts of his super weapon it's a biological weapon that will kill everyone that were shot off into random corners of space. He has one of them. So this is the level of convenience. The Enterprise finds the other half of this weapon, brings it back to the space station that happens to be closest to him. He sets a trap to have someone come out to him, and that someone happens to be the ship that happens to have this artifact that happened to go to the closest space station to him. and then go to him, and then he destroys the ship, which happens to not destroy the artifact. It's this level of extreme convenience.
But, I mean, the movie explained a bit of it because he knew everything about Starfleet because he was able to, he found a way to get through the nebula and read through the nebula.
I don't care if he was reading Starfleet. He could be reading Starfleet, but the fact that it ended that close to him, and then the ship that happened to go rescue the trap happened to be the ship that had this artifact on it, this is a level of, 1 in a million.
Suspension of disbelief, man. You're being nitpicky.
No, it's too far. It's too far.
You're being nitpicky.
Because I'm like, man.
It's Star Trek, dude. It's always the Enterprise.
It's the MacGuffin.
Think about the statistical likelihood of one ship being in the middle of every shitstorm in the Federation, and it happens to be the Enterprise. It would be real boring if the Enterprise was out cataloging gaseous anomalies like they were in the beginning of First Contact. That'd make for a real boring movie. Picard, Riker just hanging out there. Oh, number one, there's 17 particles of space dust per million meters. That's boring. The Enterprise has to be in the middle of everything. Sorry, I don't care. I like it. Stop being nitpicky.
It's not nitpicking.
It is.
It's just lazy storytelling.
No, it's not lazy storytelling.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
You do better. Be better, movie.
Come on. Idris Elba is smart. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, then we got Idris Elba.
He's the gunslinger.
Yeah, he is. I'm so excited for that. But that's not what we're in. We're in Idris Elba covered in 15 pounds of prosthetics.
That's a lot of prosthetics.
Yeah, it was. So if you've seen the movie, whatever, we're in spoilers. We're going to spoil it. So Kirk and crew come across a ship. They're like, oh, we never knew what happened to this ship.
Well,
what a surprise. Idris Elba's character captures a lot of the Starfleet crew. Yep. Or was it Crawl?
Crawl.
But then Uhura's like, there's something more to you. And then they cut to Kirk and Scotty and Chekhov at the ship. They're like,
the Franklin.
Yep. The ship disappeared forever ago and no one ever heard from the crew. And at that moment, I'm like,
nope, I know who's who.
Okay.
It kind of, it was instantaneous that you could figure that out. But
yeah, it wasn't much of a twist. They tried to throw it in later. I'm like, that wasn't a surprise.
No, but I didn't hate it. It definitely, again, it felt like a Star Trek episode. There were episodes of past crew members and think about Thomas Riker, the transporter clone of Will Riker, or yesterday's Enterprise, where the Enterprise B comes back in time, and now you have Tasha Yar in an alternate timeline, and the Romulans clone her, or you have what was the one with the temporal causality loop, where you have Kelsey Grammer as the captain of the other ship keeps coming out. It's totally plausible in the Star Trek universe. I didn't hate it.
No, but it was just a little on the nose. And then when you have Idris Elba looking out of the ship, he's like, "Hello, old friend." Yeah, I already got there without you saying that.
Yeah,
I've been there for a while, thanks.
But it also gives him motivation. He felt abandoned by Starfleet for being
I bought his
out
motivation.
Yeah, it gives reason why he is hell bent for leather and.
Because he used to be part of, what would they call it, the Marco, something or other, something where he was a soldier.
Yeah.
And then they gave him a peacekeeping job.
Yeah. So, I can get that. Again, you are you what you are, or are you capable of change? And I know I like it. Again, some real interesting, Star Trek themes that are in here that they ask real philosophical existential questions and they disguise it.
Well, they're getting there. They're not there yet, but they are taking steps in that direction.
Yeah, but it's hiding your vitamins in your, in the candy. It's like making chewy Flintstone vitamins. Yeah, it's a delicious Flintstone vitamin, but it's a vitamin.
I still didn't like those. I thought those tasted like
the crunchy ones. I liked Flintstone vitamins. Oh. As an adult, you can still eat Flintstone vitamins.
No, what? Just swallow the pills. Stop. No.
I'm not saying I eat Flintstone vitamins. I'm just saying you could.
Let's talk about the thing that if you told it to me on paper, I would tell you was a stupid idea, but I loved.
The dirt bike scene?
No, that was questionable. No, there was a swarm of bees that you could vibrationally disrupt.
Oh, this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
I'd like to point out 2 moments. There was one moment in the movie where I just pointed at you and said, "I told you," when we saw the saucer section detached.
Yes.
And then in this, we need to have some kind of vibration to disrupt the swarm, and I just go, Beastie Boys? And then I hear Jared 2 seconds later Beastie Boys?
Yes. Well, there was also Beastie Boys earlier when Scotty and Jayla are working on it.
No, that was Public Enemy.
Oh, it's Public Enemy. Sorry.
Fight the Power.
Yes.
And she's like, I like the yelling and the beat.
Yeah, you might think it was hokey, the whole scene where they destroy the swarm.
I don't care. I loved it.
Oh, it was great.
It was a good moment.
It was Sabotage. It kind of brought some stuff full circle because that's the first song we hear Kirk with. I love the inside joke of when Spock and Bones are in the little ship. And they're like, is that classical music?
Oh, my God. What else was that? Ill communication, I think. Memory serves. I'm going to say it's ill communication.
Fact check the show.
No, I like that moment. I like that when they yell that's like the biggest explosion and all that stuff. It's great. And then when they get into Yorktown and they have the Franklin flying underneath the water,
it is
and they just explode up. It's ill communication.
Yeah, it is ill communication. You're right. Yes.
Oh, or that other moment I loved. I love the idea of jump starting a ship.
Oh, when
we got to throw it into second gear and gas it up.
Oh yeah, we've got to keep the clutch in. When it gets to the speed, pop the clutch and give it the gas.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I love the scene when like the Yorktown comes up through the water. Not the Yorktown, the Franklin.
Yeah.
Station Yorktown. Oh, loved all of that.
This movie is a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it was a blast. And it was non-stop. Like, there was never a moment where I felt comfortable to go pee. Usually I have to pee during the middle of a movie because I drink a lot of, like, soda or water or whatever during the movie.
Soda's bad for you. Don't drink that.
Well, I had a lot of Gatorade before this because I just played a softball game. I just, like, I really had to pee, like, from, like, probably, like, into, like, once you got in the reel 2.
Do you think Jayla's going to take over for Chekhov?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that's
or a strong possibility. Or does it not matter?
Do you think that was a pickup shot?
No.
Her getting into Starfleet?
No, that was too late. I think by the time that accident happened, I think the movie had already been rated, and at that point you can't go back. I think they were done.
No, that's a real good way to handle that.
We'll see what happens.
I wouldn't be surprised with it. I thought JLo was a neat character.
Yeah, we'll see.
I wish we had gotten more of her though, like more about her. It was kind of like, I'm on this planet, I escaped, I'm living on this starship. That kind of like my house. Overall,
I enjoyed this movie. Go see it. It's really good. And you can go into this movie not being a Trek fan and enjoy it, I think.
I don't know if it's 100% standalone, but it definitely...
You can not watch Into Darkness and watch this movie.
You could skip Into Darkness and be okay not seeing, and like go right into it. I loved, too, not just how they handled like Leonard Nimoy's death and Spock Prime stuff, but that just raises such an interesting question. Like, I was like sitting there to myself, like, how would you feel like if you were alive but knew you were dead? Like,
that's weird.
That's weird. And also to like, I love that line, like, I just want to, for as many lives as he lives, I wish I could do this. Something like to that extent, like, that was like painted a great picture. That was a great line written about Leonard Nimoy in the movie. Like, that wasn't a line about Spock. That was a line about Leonard Nimoy.
Bilbo Bag.
Okay, we can, forget about that part.
Good movie. Go see it.
Great movie. Oh, I really like the nostalgic piece, like when Spock's trying to determine what he wants to do, and he opens up like Spock Primes.
I thought that was a little weird. Like, man, you all look very different from these actors.
Well, it's different universe. Just like that visual, like this is what we could become.
I can't complain about it. It's the 50th anniversary. Bring it on.
You had to have something like that in there. I wonder how much the remaining cast members who are alive got to have that picture in that movie for money.
All right, let's plug away. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JuniorRich. Remember, if you can figure out what American lager I was drinking tonight, I will buy you a comic book valued at no more than $5. Which pretty much just I'll tell Zach that you got it right, and then I'll pay Zach $5 next week at the recording of the podcast.
You can find me at editorsnotecomics.com on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Play, YouTube, iTunes.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Do it.
It's important.
We will see you next week. I don't have a sign out.
What's our subject next week?
I don't remember without looking at what I wrote down.
Mystery.
Wait. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Extended Edition.
Oh, we're going to go back to
Ultimate.
That? Yeah. Why?
We'll be back.
Con!
Nope, not this movie. We will be back next week.
Con!
See you then. Bye-bye.